Life has a strange way of changing. One moment, everything is bright, sweet, and full of laughter. Another moment, everything feels heavy, painful, and dark. That is the story of Achieng and Oshino, a couple who once believed their love would last forever, but later found themselves at a breaking point. Oshino was a man who had worked hard for many years in Nairobi. He had a stable job in a construction company, and though he did not earn millions, he was comfortable. People knew him as a responsible man, humble and generous. He was proud of how he carried himself, and his heart was always warm. When he met Achieng, everything in his life changed. She was beautiful, full of energy, and her smile could melt his tiredness away. From the very first day, he felt that she was the one, and she too saw in him a man who could give her stability, respect, and protection. They started dating, and very soon their relationship grew strong. They did not have a fancy wedding, but their union was blessed by family and friends. Oshino promised to take care of Achieng and to build a future for her. And indeed, he kept his word. In the first years of marriage, life was good. He provided, he supported her dreams, and he even extended his generosity to her family. He built a house for her parents back in the village. He paid school fees for her younger siblings. Every December, when the family gathered, everyone would look at Oshino with admiration. That is a good man, people said. Achieng is lucky to have him. And in those years, Achieng respected him deeply. She cooked his favorite meals. She stood by him, and they laughed together late into the night. Their home was filled with the sound of children too. Two beautiful kids who completed the picture of happiness. They were proud parents, and neighbors envied their union. Everything seemed perfect, but life does not always stay perfect. Sometimes storms come when you least expect them. One year, Oshino's company faced big problems. Contracts were canceled, money stopped flowing, and many workers were laid off. Oshino was among those who lost their jobs. At first, he thought it was temporary. I will find another one, he told himself. But months passed. The job market was tight. Every interview ended with disappointment. The savings they had began to shrink. Rent, school fees, food, medical bills, everything was heavy. Oshino started struggling. He still tried to provide, doing small jobs here and there. He washed cars, carried luggage at the bus station, and even helped friends in construction for little pay. But compared to the life they once had, it was too little. This was the turning point. At first, Achieng was supportive. She encouraged him and told him not to give up. But as time went on, her patience reduced. The respect she once had started fading. She complained more, compared him to other men who were successful, and slowly pulled away from him emotionally. Sometimes she would answer calls late in the night and whisper on the phone. Other times, she would go out dressed beautifully and return home late. Oshino noticed all this, but said nothing. His pride and his hope that things would get better kept him silent. But silence is not strength when love is dying. Silence sometimes kills faster. One evening, Oceano was walking home from a casual job. His clothes were dusty, his shoes worn out, but his heart was heavy not because of that, because of what he was about to see. As he passed by a shopping center, he noticed a familiar car parked in the lot. It was their neighbor's car. He looked closer and his heart froze. There, near the car, was his wife, and in front of her was another man. The man leaned close and kissed her on the lips. For a moment, Oceano felt the world stop. His heart pounded, his hands shook, and he wanted to scream. But he didn't. He simply stood at a distance, watched the scene, and walked away silently. That night, he did not confront her. He simply stared at the ceiling in bed as she lay next to him, pretending to sleep peacefully. Inside his heart, something broke. The next day, Oceano decided to leave. He packed his things quietly, not making noise. The housemaid saw him and later informed Chiang. When she realized he had left, she called him. "Beeb, where are you?" "I'm asking the housemaid, and she told me you packed your stuff and left the house." "What is the matter?" she asked. Oceano's voice was calm but full of pain. "I'm on my way back to the countryside. I have tried to stick around as a father, but enough is enough. When I had everything, I remember I built a house for your parents. I paid school fees for your siblings. And then, after I lost my job, you started mistreating and disrespecting me. Your endless calls talking to men even in my presence, but I usually kept quiet. Even when I saw you kissing another guy in the parking lot, I stayed silent. I know I am broke, but I am not done. Thanks for everything. I appreciate." Tears rolled down Chiang's cheeks. Her heart panicked. "Beeb, please come. We need to talk. We have kids to raise." But Oceano had already made up his mind. Peace. Peace is very important to a man. And that peace, I am going to get it from my mother. I left home strong, happy, energetic, and smiling. Now I am going home broke, heartbroken, weak, and so different. But I will rise again. Don't waste your time looking for me. I wish you well. Take care of our kids. Try to be the woman I met. Bye." And just like that, he ended the call. Back in his mother's compound in the countryside, Oceano found a strange kind of healing. The air was fresh, the nights were quiet, and the pressure of the city was gone. He tilled the land with his old mother, planted maize, and kept goats. Slowly, the smile began to return to his face. The villagers welcomed him with warmth. They respected him not because of money, but because of his heart. He told himself, "I will rise again." Every morning he woke up early, worked in the shamba, and planned how to rebuild his life. He started small businesses, selling farm produce, helping at the local center, and step by step, he regained his strength. Meanwhile, in Nairobi, Achieng began to feel the emptiness. At first, she thought she would be fine without him. She had her friends, her flashy outings, and the men who gave her attention. But soon, she realized none of them gave her the stability, the respect, or the true love Oceano once gave her. The kids began asking questions. Where is Daddy? Their tears pierced her heart. Bills piled up, and the men she thought would help her disappeared. The world that once looked sweet became bitter. At night, she remembered his words. Peace, peace is very important to man. She realized she had destroyed the very peace he longed for. Her heart was filled with regret, but it was too late. She had lost the one man who truly loved her. Years passed, and Oceano rose again. His small farm business grew. He became a supplier of fresh produce to nearby markets. His goats multiplied, and soon he was respected as one of the most hard-working men in the area. He never remarried, but his heart healed. One day he returned to Nairobi not as a broken man, but as a strong, confident, successful farmer. People who once pitied him now admired him. And Achieng, she could only watch from a distance, filled with regret. She had lost him forever. The story of Oceano and Achieng spread among friends and family as a lesson. People said, respect is more important than money. Peace is more valuable than riches. Never forget the people who stood with you when you had nothing. Oceano's story became a reminder that love must be built on more than wealth. It must be built on respect, loyalty, and understanding.